Yo. Awesome. We have audio. How's everybody doing tonight? If you're not familiar with this, like say you're new to the channel, what I do, because I just can't get the comments anymore. So what I do is on the weekend, I do a live stream, and that's your chance to interact with me to make up for my inability to get to the comment section. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask. Obviously, Super Chats, they get priority because they're paying to be noticed. So that's basically how it works. Bing, bong, bong. Just fighting Global Bar. Audio's good. You're on. Love the channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. Man, am I going to have issues again tonight? Maybe if I bring it closer. I always have issues because when I go to read the chat, the phone goes up here, so then it makes the camera get really dim, and then I pull it away, and my white-ass skin makes it flash out. Need to get a tan on here. Update on funds. Oh, we're doing pretty good. After the video I put out today, he got basically another $1,000 on PayPal, which I'm still waiting to hear back from GoFundMe, but they only send like one email a day, and I didn't get one today, which is unusual. But I think I figured out where their problem was. And so far, it seems to be okay. I'll let you know if they wind up taking a big old poopy on me. The good news is if they do, you guys just get your money back and you'll know instantly, and then we'll get something else set up. Hopefully he'll get a bail hearing soon and then get out on bail, because his old lawyer, for some reason, couldn't get a bail when he's got no criminal record. That was absurd. Oh, when are you doing still? Reno made. Yeah, Reno did a pretty good video on that. I actually didn't think he was going to touch the topic because of his opinions he had earlier. Otherwise, I would have sent him all the information so he knew everything, but I didn't think he was going to do a video. So I'm really happy he did a video. Also, Fudbusters did a video on that too, so that's pretty cool. Thank you, man. Hey, I just made it. What's up? So what's your guys' plans for the weekend? Two people I expect to do a video on it. The public defense is going to get charged for what she did. Is the public defender going to get charged for what he did? I'm not sure. I don't really know a lot on lawyers and what they are and are not allowed to do. I don't know if there was anything criminally done there. I don't know. Just curious, since you talk mad shit about are you worried about losing your SOT? No. I mean, there's always that concern in the back of my mind. If you watch my video on how I had well, I shouldn't say, how we set up the shop, I put a lot of space in between me and the actual shop. Like my actual, like, legal involvement with it. Oh, they could most definitely take a big old poopy on us, but why? I mean, we're making them money. By us having an SOT, we're bringing in $200 tax stamps. I don't really see the disadvantage to us having an SOT. Now, they may come in someday and audit us, but my dad is a paperwork Nazi. So I'll do my paperwork, and then he'll basically go through all paperwork before it officially gets filed. So that's two sets of eyes on paperwork, which I strongly recommend if you're an FFL, because sometimes you just miss things. So if we get audited, we should come out squeaky clean. They won't pull his SOT. It's a license to get a raid at any time. You can get one audit a year. One unscheduled, I guess you'd call it raid or audit once a year. It's got to be during business hours, during a business day. Now, after they burn that one raid, you have 12 months where the only time they can come in is if they call and make an appointment. Just got here. What's up? Been enjoying your videos. All right, so basically, since a lot of people just got here, I'll re-explain it. My channel's grown to the size where it's just not practical to get to the comment section. So what I do is I try every single weekend to do a live stream at the end of the week. That's your opportunity to talk to me. Ask me any questions about anything you had in, like, say, one of my videos, and then I'll be able to answer it to you live. Obviously, Super Chats get priority, but we can burn through the questions here. So you don't have a shop dog? No, definitely not. And I believe that's probably what will ultimately save us from ever getting raided by the ATF, is we don't actually have a dog inside the shop. So what would be the point? What would they gain out of it? Do you have a Discord service? There is a Discord. Here, let me pull it up here so you can see it. I don't actually run it. One of my viewers do, but I do hang out there quite a lot. Looks like he's got it called CRS Chat. Again, not run by me, but I am there quite frequently. No dog equals no ATF. Where is the dog? They coming for me. I told them auto key cards. I told them you shield. They're coming for me. They're coming for me. I told them you shield auto key cards. Laughing in ATF honeypot. Someone posted Discord link. Oh, the guy did. My moderator just posted the Discord link, so if you want to join that, you can. Right now, it's still small enough where I can talk directly with people. Obviously, as it grows, I won't be able to, and then I'll pretty much just be monitoring it and hopping in from time to time. But right now, it's still plenty small enough where I don't have a problem engaging with people on there. What's the latest trouble over the solvent trap? Oh, you're probably talking about what I posted in my community. Yeah, I was just trolling through Facebook, and, you know, obviously solvent traps pop up quite frequently. I clicked on one of those, and they had Yankee Marshall and Mr. Guns and Gear and the Smarter Everyday guy. They had clips from their YouTube videos all taken out of context, shoved together to where it sounded like they're paid advertisements, and they're advertising the solvent trap. I was like, oh my God, that is crazy. $4 super chat. What's the update on braces? I haven't heard anything on braces. Obviously, they still want them because they got a hard on for them. Will they stay legal? It's hard to say. I think they will because there's enough people that get pissed off every time they try screwing with them. That's what really makes the difference. We outnumber them by an exorbitant amount. So when we all get together and we get angry about something, there's not much they can do. And I do believe enough people got mad about the pistol braces to where they'll probably leave that alone. Look at that shot. Are you bald? I'm not really bald, but I'm close enough. Get into the voice. What's your opinion of firearms with side grip mounts? I'm not a fan. Oh, let's get all the mad. Let's all get mad at the NFA. Yeah, honestly, if we all did get mad at the NFA, then the NFA would no longer exist. But that's just not going to happen. There's too many people that truly, like, when you strip away all the bullshit and you get right down to their core values, they believe strongly that machine guns should not be possessed by everyone. Only the elite trained, only police officers or politicians, bodyguards should have machine guns. Because you got to remember, nobody's actually anti-gun. Again, when you strip away all the bullshit, there's no such thing as an anti-gun person. However, there are people that believe that the poors and the Joe average person should not have a gun or certain types of guns. And that's really the difference between a Second Amendment advocate and somebody that just owns a gun. Just because you own a gun does not make you a Second Amendment advocate. A Second Amendment advocate believes every single person, regardless who they are, where they come from, or whatever, should be able to have the right to possess and own any firearm they desire. I got a 365 XL. Can't find a P.O. Hi from Nevada. What's up, Nevada? Stream. Amen. Serious. Whatever. But can someone take advice anyway? Are you going to have a Discord? I actually just talked about the Discord. If you go up in the chat, well, my moderator will just post another link for the Discord. It's small enough right now where I can talk to people, but as it grows in size, that'll eventually fade away, like my ability to answer comments. When the order comes down, come take it. Who is going to come take it? I don't know. That's a good question. If it ever gets to the point where they're like, "Okay, we're going full Australia or full Japan," you know, nobody can possess firearms anymore. Who will be the ones that come and take it? It's hard to say. I think it'll be like neighbors ratting on neighbors and then just going after one person at a time and making it so it's so scary to own them. Most people just voluntarily give them up. That's my guess. Hello from Washington. What's up? I'm from Puerto Rico. Now, how does Puerto Rico fit into the United States? Because that's like, what, Providence or something, isn't it? Not really sure on that. I want to defend the property with my 20mm howitzer. I just turned 15 and got my first rifle. Love your channel. Thank you. What rifle did you wind up getting? South Carolina, $5 super chat sticker. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Canada here. I heard things are getting really bad in Canada. Like, they're actually starting to apply gun laws to like airsoft guns and stuff because they look too similar to the real deal. Paying $10 per mag. Cheap AR. What brand of AR? My ex-girlfriend was PTR. I miss her. We would very much appreciate you taking up the flag for everyone and helping us give a voice. Many people want to join the fight but don't know how and need someone to help us lead charge. Thank you for taking that up. Yeah, not a problem. I don't mind. Like, honestly, that's pretty much been the core of my channel. Like, the videos that really gave me huge boosts and set me apart is like when I went to bat for Rich. Obviously, the last one you've seen where the guy got his house raided over a stupid piece of plastic and they were avidly hunting for his dog. So yeah, that's like a core part of my channel. Like, when somebody comes at me and they're like, "Hey man, this happened to me and it's highly documented. You know, they got all the court records in order. It'd be better if they actually had a video." Yeah, I will most definitely help you take that one on. Now, when they come to me, they don't have any of the court records, no video of it happening, and they're like, "Hey, I got busted with a gun that was 15.99 inches long." Unfortunately, they also caught me with a pound of cocaine and a hooker. Then it's a little bit harder to take up the bat for them, if that makes any sense. If primers become illegal, which would you go? If primers become illegal, which direction would your collection go? Primers become illegal. Which direction would your collection go? I don't think I'm understanding the question. Like, let me look at that one more time. If primers become illegal, which direction would your collection go? I think you're asking if, like, it becomes impossible to reload ammunition, which direction would I, like, go with purchasing firearms. I apologize if I read that wrong. I stick with factory ammo. Like, for example, notice all that 300 PRC. For me, it's just easier. Now, with the 300 PRC, because they don't make like 230 grain A-tips, I will wind up reloading that particular type of ammo. But it's so much easier just to buy factory-loaded ammunition. For me, at least, when you take about, the cost of how much money I can make doing something else, plus the cost of materials, everything involved with it, it's just cheaper unless a round is over $1 a round for me just to buy it outright. How much is 300 PRC a round? I think it's, how many rounds are in a box? 20? The hell was that, like? I think that was $50 a box. Don't quote me on that. So that's like what, $2.50 a round? What's up, man? Hancho, Godspeed. Do you all want 30 carbines used? What 110, 1.8 optic would you recommend for an AR-15? Oh, you're talking about the Zoom. Honestly, I really like the Trijicon. The one I got, it's a little bit pricey, but I just like how it works out. Now that I've played, though, with a first focal plane below 15 power and a first focal plane above 15 power, because you obviously want to stay below 15 power, I recommend going with a second focal plane. Yes, ranging targets and measuring things are a little bit more difficult. Or that's not quite right. A little. If they got it notched out really good and you got your second focal plane, you're like, okay, I'm supposed to be on 10 power. You go to 100 yards, you check the measurements, and yes, in fact, the measurements are accurate on 10 power. I would put a really, really fine scribe across it so I know that I got to line that mark up if I want to measure something out. But a first focal plane, trying to use like a mil-dot reticle or an MOA reticle, it just doesn't bring you in close enough to use it very accurately. So I strongly recommend going with like a second focal plane. And because I've got experience on the Credo and I've been satisfied with it, that's the direction I'm going to push you. I like to stay with higher end stuff when it comes to glass. Like I won't even screw around with Vortec or any of the cheaper ones. It's got to be a primo one like Night Force, Trijicon, someone like that. Like Trijicon, when you're talking about like a variable power from like 1 to 10, that is what I would consider the bargain, the bottom of primary or premium optics. Like that's the bottom of the barrel. That's as cheap as you can go, but still stay in the good ones. Again, my opinion, everybody's got different opinions on that, but that's what I would do, and I would run a second focal plane unless you're going to have something that's 15 power or greater. No primary arms. No, I haven't played with their scopes yet, but because they started off as a company that peddled scopes on eBay, and they've always been just cheap scopes, I haven't been able to pull the trigger on them yet. Same with like a Leopold. Yeah, the Leopold now are supposed to be pretty good. I mean, I'll be testing that out. But in my generation, a Leopold was a Walmart brand scope that was super cheap. So buying that more expensive Leopold, that was kind of hard for me because Leopold's always been in my head the cheap Walmart brand scope. $10 super chat. I'm here outside waiting for riots. AR-10 mags, 2 shotguns, and my 40 sidearm. What are your plans if riots come? Evacuate the area. I got a family, man. I can't hold this position. If our town gets infested with rioters, we're just leaving. I got places I can go all over the place, depending on how big the riot is, stuff like that. Now, after I get them to safety, I might come back and try to get some belongings out of my house. But yeah, I'd abandon this property in a heartbeat if, rioters are in this area. Make sure it's for the fundraiser. Put an auto key card. Honestly, I think that's an excellent idea. So what he's suggesting with the super chat, which thank you for the super chat, is for the fundraiser to take the outline or the schematics of the lightning link, put it on a t-shirt, and sell that for a fundraiser of the auto key card. But dude, that falls in the same exact category as the actual auto key card. And the last thing I want to do is get charged for machine guns for having a design on a t-shirt. There's no real difference between the auto key card and a design on the t-shirt. Because they could be like, oh, you're just going to lay that t-shirt over a piece of metal and trace it with a Dremel, therefore that is a machine gun. So it's a great idea. It really is. I'm not willing to take that. What's up, John? One that just did the $2 super chat. He's from Ammoland. Great guy. All that information we usually find out about gun laws. I don't do the research on that. All of us, well, I shouldn't say all of us. Me, and I suspect most of us, are literally getting the information spoon-fed to us from John. Great dude. Definitely check out his articles on Ammoland. There is a difference, though. Less steps with the key cards. There is a difference, though. Less steps with the key cards. Not sure on that one. Are bump stocks fully legal again? Not that I know of. I haven't heard any updates on the bump stock thing. I know we're making progress in the right direction. However, I don't know. I don't think they're legal yet. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, just correct me in the comments. Dude, where was earlier videos filmed looks like a house/store. Oh, that's the shop. Normally it looks a lot more like a gun shop, but we're sold out of everything. So the only stuff we really got in there is the resale stuff. And it's actually works great hand in hand. The gun shop draws the crowd. The resale stuff makes the property. In normal conditions, 5 and 10% profit is what you'd expect to get on a firearm. The resale stuff, I shit you not, goes up as high as 100%. Because we donated a bunch of firearms to like the firemen, Girl Scouts, stuff like that, so they could raise money, women's softball, the school, etc. There are a lot of people that really like that, and they'll just come in and they'll be like, yeah, I'm moving out of town. Here's like $1,500 worth of stuff for free. Or like people will call us like, hey, somebody they stopped paying on the storage unit. Can you come and clean it out? Pull up with a straight truck, empty it all out. But yeah, the resale stuff is where the real profit's made. Yes, I'm selling the husband a gun at the gun rack right there. Maybe we'll make $50, $100, depending. Used guns is where the higher profits are. But then his wife will go and buy $200 or $300 worth of stuff. That's 100% profit. So yes, even though he's making a bigger purchase, we're making a bigger profit off of the wife, if that makes any sense. Just say hi to all the feds watching the show. What's up, feds? Thanks for the 223 super chat. That was a stupid, pointless fun. You should plug the store more in your videos. It's weird on YouTube. Like, there's certain things they just don't like external links. If you're doing an external link to anywhere but Amazon, there's a good chance they're going to swat the monetization away because it's costing them money. Now, I'm assuming they got some sort of agreement with Amazon, probably some sort of percentage-based agreement, but Amazon is 100% A-OK. Any other link that sells a product, you're probably going to get demonetized. And also, like promoting, say, the store. Because we sell guns in the store, well, then they'd take that as I'm promoting the sale of a gun, get my channel swatted. or just like trying to promote things, like using YouTube as a selling platform other than like sponsored videos is not okay on YouTube. You have to be very careful with how you make your videos. So if I were to like show the store or something and it came off like I'm trying to sell things out of the store, that would be a problem and I would probably run into trouble on YouTube. $5 super chat. Invest in RGR and SWBI. I'm not familiar with what those are. RGR. I swear I've heard that term before. But I'll look into it. Ruger and Smith & Wesson. I'm an EOTech guy. Great for airsoft. I do like EOTech. I love that 65 millimeter ring, and I love the 1 MOA dot. I'm currently an aim point guy just because you never shut it off. Like that, in my mind, is the advantage that's worth it. Yeah, the EOTech, like if you use it enough, you'll know that, hey, keep it on, constantly press the button like every 4 hours to make sure it doesn't shut off on me, change my battery regularly. But unless you have like a quad rail on your rifle too, like let's say you're running a Troy Alpha rail, because of the like how the rifle flows and the circularness of it and how thin it is, an EOTech looks like this little brick sitting on top of there, or like a carton of milk. And to me, it's not aesthetically pleasing. Where an aim point, it's got circle to it. It's aesthetically pleasing to me. It's nice and light. You never shut it off. Yeah, I really, really wish they had a 65 millimeter ring, or MOA ring. Sorry, not millimeter. But whatever. I work with it. Yeah, if you're looking for one of the cheaper of the two, I will vouch for EOTech. They are decent. Yes, mine broke, but I think mine was the exception, not the rule. Basically, what had happened is a reticle, it somehow got smudged or smeared. So I had like a halo around my reticle. So unless it was perfectly centered right in the middle, it would be all blurred out and smeared. But I sent it back and then replaced that for free. You gotta get the new EOTech. You gotta get the new EOTech. If I build something with a quad rail, I will definitely put an EOTech on there. But like my girl's gun has an alpha rail and she has an EOTech and it just does not look good. You are keeping up with civil rights. The lawyer, his case, first report, guy open carried AR. No, I didn't hear anything about that case. CRS, are you going to get into long range shooting beyond 1 mile for 10 years? CRS, are you going to get into long range shooting beyond 1 mile? Been at it for 10 years. Well, there is a class, an ELR class, where they shoot 1.5 miles. Unfortunately, the scope I bought, there's not enough MOA on here for me to shoot 1.5 miles. So I'd either have to build, the 300 PRC will do it without a problem. But I would either have to build a new rig, like some sort of mount or something like that. I basically give up my close-in stuff to be able to shoot that far. So I am going to take his class. He said, though, I can just shoot 1 mile since I don't have a setup that'll work for 1.5 miles. I don't know if I'm going to do that or if I'm going to build another rig altogether just for shooting 1.5 miles. Because that's 124 MOA I'd have to dial on, I believe, with a 300 PRC. And I just can't. This maxes out at 70 MOA. Plus I got 20 here, and I got another 20 on the rail. I'm just not there. And if I put it on there so I do have enough on my scope to where I'm pushed up far enough, well, now I'll be doing a whole bunch of hold under at all the ranges I'm going to shoot normally. So, yes, I am going to do it, but I just haven't decided for sure if I'm going to temporarily set up the profit to be able to do it or if I'm going to build another rig altogether to do it. Now, as you know, for the Prophet, I couldn't get the action I wanted in there. So what I might wind up doing is running the barreled action that's supposed to be coming. Hopefully it'll be here next week, and then I can start shooting that bad boy. And then when the action I finally want gets in stock, by that action, set that rifle up to be the clone I wanted it to be, take the action I already got, throw that in another chassis, and make that specifically for shooting like a mile and a half. Stuff I got to figure out. The ATF can... Lagaboma. Thanks for $2 super chat, CJ Vega. The ATF can... Get a savage. What do you think of? Lasers, red dots, lighted scope units. What do you think of all the laser, red dots, lighted scope units? Like the cheaper ones, are you talking about? Like the lasers, red dots, and stuff like that? I don't play around at all on the cheaper stuff. What's your username on Discord? My Concho. So you and I both are in busy type 7 SOT. Great intros. Need to review the OSS suppressor. I'm not really big into reviews. I actually did a post about that really early this morning, but then I got the information I wanted, so I deleted it because a bunch of people were taking the post the wrong way anyway. They were taking it like I was trying to say Grantham was some sort of shill or something like that, and that wasn't the point of the post. The point of the post was to ask, with the resources I got and the resources bigger channels got, do you want to see them use those resources on reviews? Or would you rather have them bring something else to the table? Like in my case, it's defending cases. Or I want to do like some high production, like blow some shit up or something awesome. Because in my head, I think reviews are saved for channels under like 100,000 subscribers. Once you get over 100,000 subscribers with all the resources and everything you can use, why would you waste your time making a gun review? It just doesn't make sense to me. So, I mean, I could review that silencer, but it's not really like where I want to go with the channel. I want to build projects, see how we can achieve different goals with, the resources I got, because then you guys could be like, oh, hey, I like how he achieved that goal. I'm going to mimic that one or copy that one. Am I making sense here? $5 super chat. What's the legality of building an AR pistol? Legality of building an AR pistol. How would I go about doing that? I'm in Pennsylvania. Every state's way different. Because I'm not in Pennsylvania, I don't know what their laws are. But in Wisconsin, it's just don't have a stock on it. It has to be bought as a pistol. Obviously, if you take a rifle and shorten it up, well, that's a short barrel rifle. We just jump on Palmetto State Armory and just buy a pistol, an AR pistol. That's how you would legally do it in Wisconsin. I don't know if Pennsylvania has other restrictions or anything like that. I don't think they do. Don't quote me on that. I wish I knew of a channel that was from Pennsylvania, and I'd tell you to ask them, but I just don't know because I don't live there. And every state is drastically different how they handle things. What do you think of What do you think of where America is headed? Sometimes I wonder if we were born in a crazy time. No, I don't think so. I think it's just perception. Because obviously, things are going to change. America's going to change. It's just the way it is. Yeah, we're trying to prevent them from, or we're trying to preserve freedom because we see the ultimate goal as being communism. And while obviously, communism just doesn't work, we're a constitutional republic. Why would you want to change that for communism? And because the two are absolutely not compatible, you have to destroy the constitutional republic in order to bring in communism. But again, if I would have been born in the 30s, I would have said the same thing because I would have been like, oh my God, now they want $200, which is what, like a month's wages back then, for me to have a machine gun. Or if I would have been born in the 60s and the 68 ban would have came and I would have been like, what? You can't put a machine gun on the registry again? Like, we are just screwed. So I think it comes to perspective. And that's how they get away with the stuff, is just little increments. So because I was born, in the 80s, yeah, I was old enough to where I knew about the 86 ban, but that wasn't really affecting me yet. But all like the machine gun tax stamps and stuff like that's always been there since longer than I lived. So that to me became as normal. So I don't think like things are accelerating like extremely fast or getting extremely crazier. It's just that they do so much in a person's lifetime, and then they keep doing it because they're looking at the big picture in like terms of generations. We're only seeing in terms of a lifespan, if that makes any sense. Or CNC mill, what do you think of them banning firearms from live streams? I actually didn't know about it. Pause it right there. I didn't know they had banned firearms from a live stream, and I'm sitting there talking about a firearm on a live stream. All of a sudden, my shit goes black. I'm like, what the hell? And then I get a notification that your stream was canceled due to copyright content. I was like, okay, that's odd. But then the next day, I got an email explaining that, hey, you can't show firearms on a live stream, so that's why we shut your stream down. I guess that has something to do with a guy on Twitch or something like that was screwing around with a firearm on live stream and like shot himself. So from what I understand, now, obviously the rules can change per case because, well, if you really want to get someone and the goalpost is in the way, just move the goalpost. But from what I understand, the firearm can be like in the live stream. You just cannot interact with a firearm. Don't quote me on that. Don't base how you run your channel on that. That's just what I was told. So, $5 super chat, budget up to $1,000. What would you build? No 5.56. Probably some sort of M1A. But I think it's cheaper just to buy those than to build them. Well, no, because if you buy one, even the cheaper Springfield ones, they're like $1,200. I try to see if I could do an M1A. Otherwise, I do some sort of shotgun. But those you really don't build either. I mean, you kind of do. But I go like a Mossberg 590 if I couldn't do an M1A. Are you looking for a rifle specifically or just anything? $20 super chat. Can you do a vid on shooting 223 through 5.56 chamber accuracy and velocity? I don't think I have a big enough sample size of rifles to be able to do that. Because, I mean, when we're talking about actual chamber measurements, there's a lot of overlap between 223 and 5.56, depending on who actually cut that, how much free bore they cut in it. There are 223 chambers that are bigger than 5.56 with more free bore. And it's supposed to be 5.56 has more free bore, so if you're shooting that one tracer round, you don't run into a high pressure scenario. So, I mean, it really depends on who's cutting that particular barrel, how wore their tooling is, if it's a Friday and they're not really paying attention and they run it a little bit deeper. Where are we here? Trying to find the guy that did the last super chat so I could find if he's looking for a rifle specifically. Thoughts on 38 Super? I've got no experience on it, so unfortunately I really don't have an opinion on 38 Super. Taxation is theft. SIG AR-1065 Creedmoor. Just bought a side charging handle. What do you think of the side charging handle? Now that you've actually got it and you've played with it, would that be something you would buy again, or would you just stick with your standard AR charging handle? Where is Dark tonight, dude? I don't know. Is he doing a live? Maybe I'll invite him on. How long have I been going? 40 minutes? He actually called me yesterday, but I was napping. Thoughts on 357 SIG? I wouldn't do it just because that's kind of a niche cartridge, so ammo availability is just garbage. I mean, yeah, right now with the ammo panic, you can get 357 SIG almost everywhere, but normal times, you're more likely to get like 9mm or 40 or 45. Do you have AR-15 lowers? We have a couple of them, not very many though, and we paid out the nose for them, so they're not cheap. They're just there, so if somebody's like, okay, the switch flipped in my head, I need an AR now, and I need to build one. Well, we can give them an option. Yeah, they're paying a bit for it, but at least they have the option. Would you guys want me to shut this stream down and bring Dark on? CRS Firearms, ideal handguns, some plastic double stack 9mm Glock clones. If I'm going to get a Glock clone, I'm just going to go all the way and get a Glock. Buy 80% lowers and machine 2 size. How do we buy from your store? Pretty much you got to show up in person. We were just about to launch a website where we were going to do drop shipping and everything. Well, unfortunately, the gun panic happened, and now there's just no inventory to drop ship, and we don't have anything in the store, so we put the website on pause until stuff comes back. Follow-up question. Since you mentioned shotguns, I thought about building 12-gauge AR. Is it worth it? If I'm going shotgun, I'm going with the traditional tube style, not magazine, because they work, they're reliable, they've been proven for years. They definitely work. And if you go with like a Mossberg 590, you can even put on this bayonet. And shotgun magazines, if I want something like magazine fed, I'm going to go with a rifle. I mean, 5.56, got your mags, high capacity, good to go as long as you don't live in one of those crappy states. Plus, like you do like your standard style shotgun, like say you go with like a 590 and you throw on like a wood stock and a wood pump, there would have to be some hardcore gun restrictions and regulations to where that would be on the chopping block. So that would be like a last resort gun. That'd be something you could pass on to your kid, and they'd be fighting for the rights of that gun because ARs no longer exist or whatever, hypothetically speaking. Just a tube-fed shotgun, like 7 in the pipe, 1 in the tube. That's the way I would go. Plus, you can do like quad loads and twin loads, and you can load those up really, really fast. Yes, the magazine change is convenient, but again, it's semi-auto. You're going to have reliability issues. Has it been proven? Has it fought in wars? Stuff like that, like Mossberg 500 or 590? Oh, yeah. Winchester 97? Oh, yeah, that's been a combat shotgun forever. Remington 870? My God. It's like the backbone of shotguns in the military. Yeah, Mossberg 590 A1 is pretty badass. I got one of those. Love Mossberg 590 Tactical 14-inch. Yeah, I kind of want to build a short barrel shotgun at some point. Mossbergs are great. Yeah, a lot of people were concerned about the aluminum receivers, but dude, I mean, come on. Like, obviously they hold up. Not to mention everything happens inside the barrel. Like the bolt, when it locks in, it locks into the barrel. So the cartridge itself is completely surrounded in steel. It's being held by steel. The receiver just like puts everything together. It's the K37, another great option. Oh my God. So can't remember if I talked about this on a stream or not. Somebody brought in a Winchester 97 trench gun. Completely legitimate. I went through all the things you would look at to determine if they're real or not. It looked 100% real. However, it was a civilian version. It was missing military cartouches. Even the bayonet was a civilian version. It didn't have the military cartouches. And it was a later model because it had the plastic sheath and not the leather sheath. I almost bought that bad boy because it was in pretty good shape. If it would have been in perfect shape, I would have bought it. But it was a bit rough, and he wanted $2,000 for it. And I was trying to explain to him, like, dude, you're missing the things that make this a high dollar shot. Because originally he wanted $4,000. I'm like, well, that's not going to happen. I don't mean to insult you, but yeah, you can take that shotgun and leave. I'm like, I'm somewhere in the ballpark of $1,500. He's like, well, $2,000, and he wouldn't budge from $2,000. I'm just irritated because I really, really wanted that shotgun, but it was missing the stuff that would have made it valuable. It had a little bit of damage on the heat shield. The finish on the receiver wasn't that great. It didn't have any military cartouches. It didn't date to be in the military time. The bayonet he had with it was a civilian one. It was never in military service. I'm like, this is a $1,500 shotgun all day long. I even showed him a bunch of gun broker auctions where they ended. I'm like, see, $1,500, $1,500, $1,800. Oh, that one's kind of high. Oh, here's $2,000, but as you'll notice, the finish is 100% perfect. No damage on it. $1,500, $1,500, $1,500. And I'm just irritated because I really wanted that shotgun, but you just wouldn't come down. If it came down $400 even, I would have snatched that bad boy right up. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat, Alex. I don't know if you sent the message, but if you did, it didn't show. Sorry if they ask a ton, but have you ever made a gun without using a 3D printer or pre-made parts? Like what, a shotgun shell inside of a tube? Oh, yeah. I think everybody's made one of those. Noriko makes a great clone of the 1891 trench gun. I think you meant 1897 trench gun. But yeah, they were pretty good. Yeah, it's not the same quality as the Winchester. Like, you're missing things like nickel steel, stuff like that. But generally speaking, I would call those acceptable. Yes, oh yeah. Well, it is proven design. Hell yeah. Auto 5, best ever. I do like the Auto 5s. I really do, especially when you modify them a little bit because you can actually throw on a Remington 870 tube extender to bring your magazine capacity up. There'll be a slight gap in between the tube extender and the wood. Simple, easy to fix. You either just grind it down just a little bit or you throw on a sling swivel right there. And it looks awesome. True, sounds interesting. Who makes guns to shoot it? Suppressors. It's like it's 12 5-round magazines. Man, I just bought a SIG P365 XL. Love it. Do you have any experience? I've played with one, like in the shop, like looking over the controls of the 365 and that, and I was happy with them, but I've never actually taken to the range and shot it. I can insult your promise. You cry. My dad has an Auto 5. Never give it up. I actually want to do another Auto 5 project build. We had a couple come through the shop. I almost pulled the trigger on the one, but the finish was just in such beautiful shape. I didn't want to buy it and chop it up. I'm like, that can go to someone's collection. I mean, they're cheap enough. Back before the gun panic, they were going for like $500-600. This was a Belgium-made Browning, had the gold trigger and everything. I think we sold that for like $4.5. Beautiful finish. Looks like the thing was never fired. I'm like, I can't chop that one up, so I'll wait for another one to come in. They roll through sometimes for like $100, $200, all depending on condition. But I want a Browning one specifically because the load gate's free, and what's an Auto 5 if it's not a Browning? Like the Remington Model 10s, those are just a dime a dozen. He owns no guns. This guy read the other guy for others' rights. What? Must be talking about someone else. What about the Scar? Do you have 20-round M1A mags? Unfortunately, no, we don't, but we got a big-ass pile of FNFAL mags. What do you think of the 590 Shockwave? I had troubles loading it. I don't know if maybe it needed to wear in or something, but I was really having problems getting the shells past the shell catch. Other than that, like, it seemed like it was built quality. I like the 590s because you're a little bit fatter of the barrel, so you have to go full melee with it. You should be okay. I need FAL mags. Oh, CRS, number 25, 10 millimeter, neck down to 9 mil. What do you think of the KSG shotgun? I've only had experience on one of them, and it broke. I didn't like how it loaded. I don't like the KSG. It'd be cool to like have it set up like, okay, so like this is my fallback position right here. Grab my shotgun and I run until it's empty, and then I just throw it down and then move on to the next gun or have like a rifle by it. As far as using it as a primary weapon, I would not. I just wouldn't. I don't like how it is. The controls are all goofy. If I want a primary shotgun, it's going to be a tube fed, either semi-auto or pump action, something where the controls are very intuitive. It's easy to load. It's easy to do twin loads. The KSG is just not that shotgun. Load it up as like a burner gun. Like I just use it, go till it's empty, throw it down. That I could do. But even with shotguns, like I'd rather have a bead sight. You don't get any faster than a bead sight. Just how it works with your body, like when you come up and everything, a bead sight's stupid fast. If you've never been behind a bead sight, give it a try once and you'll understand what I'm saying. I have a 20 gauge shockwave, Freedom, you still use links. John Wick. What's a good semi-auto shotgun? I actually just bought a Benelli M4H2O. That was supposed to be here already. I don't know what the hell has taken so long. I like the Mossberg. What the hell is that? A 930. The home defense. It's either home defender or home defense. I can't remember what wording is, but it's got that stupid suicide button on the side of it. Most of the shotguns, for whatever reason, they have the same button that drops the bolt that also releases a shell. So if your bolt is dropped and that button gets slapped, it throws another shell on the carrier and causes a double feed and makes your shotgun malfunction. The Benelli does not do that. So that's why I'm leaning towards the Benelli, because I can press that button without it messing up. Like even the ATAC, which is supposed to be like a clone of the Benelli, still, when I slap that button on the side of the receiver, it drops another shell, double feeds, because it doesn't just drop a shell on the carrier. If there was just a shell on the carrier, you'd be fine, because the bolt would go back and pop it up and it would go in. But it'll drop one on the carrier and another one will follow it. So when the lifter goes to actuate, there's a shell halfway on the lifter and it causes a malfunction. If the Mossberg didn't have that stupid little hiccup, I would probably have a 930 right now, or I would have ordered a 930. But like every single shotgun that I've had come through, except for the Benelli M4, if I hit that button on the side, it'll throw in two shells and cause a malfunction, which I can't stand. It irritates me. And I always just imagine like, okay, so Murphy's Law would kick in if I ever truly needed to use a shotgun. I'd clear a corner or something, bump it, or something would happen, that button would get slapped, and my shotgun would malfunction. And you can't just pull it back and clear it because the bolt's there. So you got to like pull the bolt back, hold it back, flip it over, shake the crap out of it, try to get the other shell out. It's a pain, just a total nightmare. I have no idea why so many shotguns are designed in that manner. Now, I haven't had my hands on an FN yet. And I would have bought an FN because I'm an FN fanboy. But because I've already played with the Benelli and I know that button does not do that like with other shotguns, that's why I went with the Benelli over the FN. Otherwise, if I would have played with the FN and I would have known for sure 100% that I can't hit that button and cause a malfunction, I would have bought the FN over the Benelli. Both FN and Benelli do have chrome line barrels. I'm not sure about the H2O model, though, because I only played with the black one. But the black one did. We'll see if the H2O has a chrome line barrel, which I feel, when you're talking about serious work, chrome lining is necessary. But, again, that's my opinion. CRS ATF, busy bugging your Benelli and drop a DNA all over it. FN barrels are sexy. Hell yeah, they are. Kool-Aid, howdy. CRS, have you ever seen the Caltech P50 yet? No, I haven't. Sega 12 won't be imported soon. Yeah, if you're into imported shotguns, it might not be a bad idea to buy whatever the hell you're looking at, because I keep hearing other little rumors that there's supposed to be like some sort of importation attack. And lately, if I hear a rumor about the ATF, it typically comes true shortly after. So, might not be a bad idea to buy all your importations now. Pump action is hard to beat. Oh, I agree. Because, like, let's say I could throw in a totally dud shell, pull it up, click, and just pump it and keep going. Where, like, a semi-auto, you'd have to clear that malfunction out. So, a pump action, you just keep going. Yeah, they're not perfect. And the learning curve on it's a bit steeper than a semi-auto, but the reliability is insane on a pump action. P229, pump actions is safe. 760 by 39, Bill's working on it. What's up with the PSA dagger? I have no idea what's up with the Glock colognes. I stay away from Turkish pretty much everything. I'm just not into Armenian genocide blasters. But everybody raves about the Turkish shotguns and that. Man, when they come in, I'm just not impressed. Yes, they have chrome line bores, which, yeah, that's freaking awesome, because American companies, they seriously lack in their shotgun chrome lining. I don't know why, but they do. Unless you're buying like an FN shotgun, there's a good chance your bore is not going to be chrome lined in a shotgun. I think Browning also chromes lines their shotgun, but Browning and FN is like the same exact thing. So, yeah, so it was cool that the Turkish shotguns did have chrome line bores, but, like, just the quality of them. And if I was really broke and I had to buy a shotgun, I would probably lean towards that. But why not just spend a little bit more and get a Mossberg? And Mossberg customer service, through my experience, has just been phenomenal. They've replaced every problem I've had free of charge. I'm a Mossberg fan when it comes to pump action shotguns. I wish they offered a model with a chrome line bore. However, they don't, so whatever. Of course, a chrome line bore would probably jack the price up like $200. Armenian genocide blaster CRS, do you have chrome line bunghole? What's really your point of the forward assist if the round won't go forward? In Wisconsin, the forward assist is handy because if you're sloppy with your greasing or oiling job, it gets cold enough to where your lubricants turn into glue. So you got to use the forward assist to get it forward. Other than that, I don't really understand why somebody would want it. Unless, of course, you're in the colder climates. DD copper, chrome lining, socks, spark glows. Brad, Mossberg customer service really disappointed me this week. That sucks. I've had just glowing experience with Mossberg customer service. I have the good old Turkish 12 gauge. I hear you, but 870 are true. God sense. Yeah, I have to say, too, if I was talking about, like, overall between 870 and Mossberg, they both have their advantages and disadvantages. 870 actions, for some reason, those just get butter smooth. You can run them super quick. Mossberg, they're always kind of chunky. But I've dealt with a Mossberg so long, I don't even really notice anymore. CRS opinion on bullpups. I ran a Tavor once, and I get it, because, like, if I was standing there with a pistol fully extended, a bullpup Tavor was actually shorter. So I get bullpups, but it's like trying to convert me to the metric system. It's just not going to happen. Yes, I get there's advantages, and yes, most of it, if you train with it all the time or use it all the time, you'll get good with it. Not my cup of tea. I mean, Mossberg bolt guns, yeah, they were pretty decent. No pump smoother than a Winchester 1200. I don't know. I think my Winchester 97 would have to argue with that. Are there chrome line aftermarket barrels available for the Mossberg? Not that I know of. And when you're talking about buying Mossberg parts, they do such a good job making the parts that you could dream up in your head. I stick with Mossberg aftermarket parts. So it's not really aftermarket, like after I purchased, because they did a really good job just like making every different configuration you would want for your shotgun. So before I'd ever go to the aftermarket world, I jump on Mossberg.com and see if they have what I'm looking for. You have a Tavor? No, but I ran one once. Mossberg, 152,000 all day. 152K. What do you think of ammo will be back to pre-panic prices? No, because of inflation, regardless, ammo should go up by about 6% every single year. Because I think the shortage will be 4 years long, so 6% plus 6% plus 6%. Or if you're an optimist, 3% plus 3% plus 3%. No matter what, you're going to see ammunition with like a 12% higher price because it's just the way it works. Inflation, especially now with them injecting a bunch of fake money into the economy, it makes our real money worth less. It seriously does. Haven't you noticed the price of everything? Grocery stores everywhere is on a pretty freaking steady climb. The whole point of injecting all this fake money into the economy is to take the people barely in the middle class and pull them back into poverty class, because it sucks. I just got into like the middle class, and now they're injecting a bunch of fake money in the economy, and it's pulling me right back into poverty class. So no matter what, you'll never see pre-panic ammo prices. Even if we never had a panic, it would still keep climbing by about 3% every year. Minimal. What do you think of the 204? I haven't checked it out yet, but I'm pretty impressed with the velocity numbers. My Mossberg 930 freaking cracked in half. Wow. Fired 2 rounds, took a week to get replaced. Been waiting to see you get into reloading. Buy silver. Well, and that's the kind of nice thing when you're not just saving money, because saving money kind of sucks and it's stupid because it depreciates by roughly 3% every year. When you buy an actual physical item, whether that's silver, gold, ammunition, firearms, whatever, because that physical item also increases with inflation, you never actually lose money. Mossberg barrel's not chrome lined, but damn, they're good. Yeah, I beat the crap out of my Mossberg barrel, like literally beat the crap out of it. The crap I've shot down the bore and that, I've been pretty impressed with it. Oh, and thank you for the $5 super chat. Exactly, food prices are up 7%. That's huge. Everything's up. We're going to keep seeing it climb because that's the whole point. That was like the whole end game of the whole thing, was to take a chunk of middle-class people and pull them back into poverty class. The only way there can be someone on top is if there's somebody on the bottom those people are standing on top of. And it sucks because I worked so hard to get into middle class, and then bam, they do all that and they drag me right back into poverty class. They are making your money worth less. That's just the way it is. The more money you pump in, the less your $1 is worth. Yeah, used cars all cost $1,400 or more now. I mean, there's always exceptions, but you get the idea. What's your favorite camo? I've always liked BDU camo, like the old, like BDU camo. I've just liked that one. It's aesthetically pleasing to me. I think it looks cool. Monopoly money. Trying to get out, but they pull me back in. Right? I ever hunted where it's warm. Woodland, humans. M81 woodland camo is, I guess, what I mean. What do you think of glue slugs. They're freaking awesome because you can't get things like buckshot and slugs right now. You take a little bird shot, put some wax or some hot glue gun, put some hot glue in there, boom, you got a slug. So you can turn this cheap, what is it like? Well, I don't know what it is now, but last time I bought some, it was $30 for 100 rounds, just garbage ammo. Now you have something you can work with. I wouldn't buy gold or silver or shipments fan. You can't eat gold. Oh, that's true. If you do buy a lot of gold or silver and things like the dollar crashes or something like that, you can't do anything with it. Thoughts on pistol AR piston conversion swaps? I've only seen one piston conversion swap like actually get ran hard, and the swap just made the rifle eat itself. Cut out the buffer tube, then it cut out part of the receiver. It just wasn't worth it in my opinion. No use. Well, if you're in a colder climate, wax will work just fine. But if you get in a hotter climate, I would stick with glue sticks instead of wax. How many extra bolt carriers should I have to be prepared? You really don't need extra bolt carriers. I mean, it is possible to break off like the ears that interlock with your barrel extension. That does happen, but you'll typically know ahead of time. If you watch the edge and the front of your bolt carrier, like it goes into the barrel extension like this and turns. If you start seeing it get peened over on either side, the timing is off. And that bolt carrier will eat itself. But typically, if it's timed correctly, you will never have a problem with breakage. The only thing you want to get is extra gas rings. Maybe the cotter pin in case you lose it. Has anybody ever broke a firing pin? Is that a thing? Extractor spring. That's another one you could buy. I've seen bent pins. So yeah, maybe get a back. To be honest, it's just easier to have a backup rifle. Something with the same exact parts, so if you have to, you can build one rifle. That's why you have more than one gun. Yeah, but you got to understand, I've been there. I've only been able to afford one gun. And because I was broke at that time, I built that one gun off a part. So it was completely unique. To have two of the same gun, it just wasn't financially feasible for me. Some people just have one gun. I just had one gun for a very long time. Packing heat for years. AR-15 firing pin is like $10 or less. Grease guns are slow. Where are we at? Hour and 8. The gun is cheap. All this stuff you buy though. Stop the cranny. $5 super chat. Stop the crappy comments. Let others be heard. Stop the crappy comments. Let others be heard. The best time to comment is literally when you see me pick up the phone, because I don't stop it. I just let them roll through. So when I pick it up, that's the time when you want to send your comment. Is one price. At what point do you think they're at? At what point do I think there are diminishing returns on velocity? At about 2,800. That seems to be where a cartridge can comfortably get to reliably. I like to stay at about 3,000 if it's feasible. But when you get to 3,000, like for example, I can't. Yeah, actually I can. These are the exact same weight bullets. This is a 243. This is a 5.56. It takes this much more case over the 5.56 to accelerate the same weight projectile from 3,200 feet per second to 3,800 feet per second. That's only 600 feet more per second you gain by going with this. However, when you're getting up like positive 3,000 feet per second, the magic that happens when projectiles impact their target is just amazing. This can sometimes pierce armor plate if it's thin enough. This just destroys armor plate just by adding 600 feet per second. That's why your 308, I won't even get into that. 223 through vest. It's a lot with hunting, 243. If you had to choose between getting an AK or just an AR-10, what would you go with? It all depends. Are we talking about like a crappy garbage AR-10, like some sort of PSA or something like that? I would go with the AK. If we're talking about a primo AR-10, like Armor Light with like a chrome line barrel, or who else makes one? Another company equivalent to Armor Light, with the quality parts, like a tool steel carrier, chrome line bore, pinned in gas block, stuff like that, then yeah, I would go AR-10. But if we're just talking about like just a garbage, run-of-the-mill PSA AR-10, 4140 barrel, questionable carrier timing, because I've seen several PSAs where the carrier wasn't in time and they just eat the carriers, then I would go with the AK. But if we're talking about quality AR-10, AR-10 all day long. 7.62 by 51 NATO all day. Oh, yeah. CRS, what is your go-to AR-15? That would be the MLP. It's a M4A1 clone. Obviously, it's only as correct as I can get legally, but that's my go-to right now. Just a general purpose, doesn't do any job really good, but it does all jobs kind of. MLP rules, POF, I have two. What do you think of the POFs? Ever make machine your own firearms? A bunch of parts for firearms I've built on the lathe. They're on a end mill, but I haven't done a receiver yet. So give to Lightning Link Fund. Also, you have any luck finding 243 ammunition for armor penetration? Yeah, this is right here. What I'm running is, what the hell is this, a Nozzler? I think this is a Nozzler tip. It's a 55 grain, just your standard varmint tip. I got it accelerated out of a 20-inch barrel at almost 3,900 feet per second. It varies. It goes from like 37 to 39 and somewhere in between. Now, I was having cases getting stuck in the bore, and I think I might be just a little bit high on the pressure, so I dropped it down. I got to chronograph it again and see what the velocity is. But yeah, this slides right through 3/8 AR 500. And a bulletproof vest is about 2 millimeters. So a 3/8, that's almost like twice as thick as your bulletproof vest. The guy Buffman TV, I can't remember the name of his channel. Anyways, this flies right through level 3 armor at 100 yards. Now, if this was a full metal jacket, it would obviously do better because this is just a varmint tip, but it doesn't matter because it's got the velocity. Buffman Range. That's what his channel's called. What's the difference between a $1,000 AR and a $3,000 AR? Usually the optics, because like the MLP, that's like right up around $3,000. But I spent what, $1,000 on the optics, and then another $500 just on the trigger for the Echo trigger. That's $1,500. If you could buy any AR brand, what would you buy and what would you go with? If I could have any one whatsoever, I'd be looking at like a Colt SP1. Just not like a new one, but like one way back when. I had a chance to buy one not that long ago and I totally dicked it up. But that's just a sentimental thing. It's not like I would take that into combat or something. BCM or LMT? Unfortunately, I don't have any experience with either of them. I have bought some BCM parts before, and they seem to be quality. So that's the only experience I have, so I'd lean towards BCM. I greatly enjoy your YouTube channel work. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you, man. Money is no object, Knight's Armament. What's Dark's channel called? Dark like Dugan. I'll pull it up for you real quick. This is what his channel's called. FN is good. Actually, yeah, that's actually, if we were talking about like some sort of like, they were like, okay, anything you can buy will magically show up at your house this instant. It has to be an AR-15. Money is not objective. Money is no object. What would you buy? I would instantly go to fnusa.com. I would order their M4. Then I would go over to ACOG. I would order the ACOG. And I would probably throw a sling on it and boom, done. Good to go. I would feel confident in that particular setup. It was fun when Dark was here. Let me call him real quick and see if he wants to jump on. Just got a Colt M4. What do you think of it?
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing?
Chilling.
Well, a bunch of the fucking people damn it, I swore on the live stream. A bunch of my people on the live stream keep asking about you. You want to hop on?
Fuck yeah.
All right, let me know when you're all set up, and then I'll shut down this one, and then I'll send you the link.
Give me 3 to 5 minutes so I can get going.
Well, just shoot me a text.
All right.
All right, bye. All right, yeah, so as soon as he's ready, he's going to shoot me a text. Then I'll end this stream, and then I'll start another one back up with him because I'm not on StreamYard right now, and you have to be on StreamYard in order to bring somebody in. I can't just bring somebody in off of a YouTube. I have to go to a separate app to do it. Sierra's thoughts on the M&P 15 is a good running rifle. Now, they do have a couple of different M&P 15s. They got the Sporter, which is a 4140 barrel, but it is melanite. And then they got the higher models. I haven't touched the higher models, but I assume they're better. Now, the Sporter, where a lot of the AR-15 companies fail when you're in that price range, is their quality control. We had several M&P 15s come through. Not a single problem with any of them. They had consistent quality control. So if I had to buy a budget AR and I couldn't get any of the desirable ones like Stag, Bushmaster, Windham, something like that, because when you're in that price range, those would be the ones I would lean to. I would most definitely feel comfortable grabbing an M&P 15 off the shelf. Because again, I've seen just consistent quality control. Would you rather have a Han Solo or Boba Fett? Would you rather be Han Solo or Boba Fett? Han Solo. I mean, Boba Fett's a badass and all, but I mean, if you got Jedis on your side, you freaking marry a Jedi. Your children are Jedis. Oh yeah, Han Solo all the way. F1 Firearms. He got eaten by that. He actually, Boba Fett doesn't actually get eaten. If you follow the books, so when the whole sand monster thing eats him, I forget how he gets out. I think he like detonates a grenade or something in there. So Boba Fett does actually escape the sand monster thing. I forget what it's called. These live streams rule. Thank you, man. Piston or gas? Gas all the way, unless we're talking about an AR-10 or something that fires a 7.62 x 51. Because they just get really dirty, and I would probably go towards piston, like with the Scar or something like that. But with an AR-15, with a gas, you're lighter, less moving parts compatibility with like every other AR-15 out there. I don't see an advantage to going with an external piston system. The Sand Monster was called the Spectral Pit. Boba Fett survived. He even on the Mandalorian. Oh, was it Boba Fett that trained Jaina Sola too to ultimately take down Jason? Man, it's been so long since I've been through those books. I know it was a Mandalorian, but I think it might have been Boba Fett. Because, see, Luke Skywalker has kids. Han Solo has kids. One of Han Solo's kids, Jason, he winds up going to the dark side because he was best friends with Ben. None of this stuff exists in the series. Well, kind of, but not very much. So then Jason goes evil while Luke Skywalker's son Ben goes with Vistara Kai. And then Jaina, Luke Skywalker's daughter, winds up getting trained by a Mandalorian to take down Jason, because if Luke Skywalker did it because he was too close to the dark side already, he was already on the edge. He felt that if he took down Jason, that would be just enough to push him over the edge and start going down the path of the dark side, and then he'd ultimately turn into a Sith Lord. So he winded up sending Jaina, who, again, I believe was trained by Boba Fett, and then she winded up taking down Jason. Dude, Jaina's a badass. Like, it's crazy if you didn't go through the books. Is all Legend stuff Disney ruled, sadly? Yeah, on content, on canon, non-canon. That's what Disney ruled all that stuff was, and that book series was the first ones I kind of struggled through because I don't feel like they were put together that well. But as the book started developing in the Star Wars series, they were really, really good. Minefield or 10 pounds on the front yard. When you put a feminist woman in charge of Star Wars, are you president of four riots? Tommy Gun, yeah, new Star Wars sucks. Weapons are populations. I hope they do make an alternate trilogy. Like, somehow in the movies, like, they write it into the story, like, I don't freaking know. Somehow something happens different, like a butterfly effect, and they make an alternate trilogy that follows the books, because that was a really good story. I didn't even get to hear the end of it because Disney bought it before the books were finished. How much was the Venmo at? Nothing. I'm either not checking it right or nobody's donated on Venmo. Now, the PayPal, that went right the hell back up. You guys got almost like another $1,000 on there for them. Let me check real quick and see what it's at. Yeah, you guys brought his PayPal donations right back up to over $1,000. It's crazy. Any Star Wars. Whiteboard of knowledge, please. Biden can't get your guns if he puts them upstairs. Biden can't get your guns. You just got to put them upstairs. Exactly. She was awesome. Discount stories. Isn't he a cartoon character? Must have missed something in the conversation. Be scoring that much. So I think I bought all the right build to put together a pretty good 308. Nice. If you're on my Discord, send me pictures of your AR 308 build. I'd like to see it. That's funny. Okay, hopefully, because before it gets into Star Wars, prefer a gas mask. I haven't played with very many gas masks. I want to get like a World War I one or like one of those like bird beak ones. So the next time I shoot a video with the 1897, like it looks terrifying. Because I got the helmet, which you guys can't see because it's kind of off camera. Right there with like the bloody handprint on it, like I'm fighting zombies. Then I got the vest. But I need to get a really, really scary looking gas mask. I bought a whole bunch of smoke bombs too, so I can set them off and like have the smoke going through with the gas mask on, and just boom, 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 bayonet some shit, boom, boom. I think that'll be pretty awesome. I sleep in my cat. You should go Tundra Tactical. You should go on Tundra Tactical. I don't think that guy likes me. Way back when we were down in like 5,000 to 10,000 subscriber range, one of my viewers was good friends with Tundra Tactical, so he tried to set me up with them. So like, because he doesn't live that far from me, so we could like work together or something like that. And I told him, I'm like, hey man, like you're doing pretty good on your channel. You're seriously cutting your own throat with your thumbnails because they all look the exact same. So I threw a thumbnail together for him. I sent it to him. I'm like, hey, you should try this out and see if the video performs better. And then that was it. Wouldn't respond to my messages or anything. So I don't know if like he felt I was trying to say I was superior to him or like I could do his job better or something to that effect. But I don't think he likes me. Russian gas mask of the 70s look like a human face. If you guys want, send me some pictures of the scariest looking gas mask you can find. Obviously, it can't have a bong attached to it. Come on now. Because I want a scary looking one. My headset. Good porn. Anyone know? Oh. But yeah, you can send me pictures on like my Instagram that I get private messages on, or the Facebook or the Discord. And just send us pictures of the scariest looking gas mask that you think would look really cool with like a tack vest, like a World War I helmet, and a really scary gas mask. What's this? Oh, duh. All right, so I'm going to end this stream right now. I'm going to be back on in just a second with Dark. So let's shut this down.